What up, Chad? How we doing? What up, TradeWap, Toasted, Johnson, Jeremy, Robert, Taylor, Dev? How y'all doing? Vish? What up, Micro? What up, Jose? What up, Mackenzie? Golden brother, how about you? I'm wonderful, brother. Wonderful. What up, Pete? Nando? How'd you guys do today on New York? Obviously, dude, this volatility. Dude, the volatility has been there. I mean, we are seeing it. We're still in like a wider range, but the volatility has been nutty. A lot of opportunity, though. What up, TradeWap? %. Yeah, Carl, it's great. Like, that's the thing. There's a lot of opportunities, so it's okay if you miss certain trades. The hardest part probably for people is a lot of people aren't used to finding an area to be interested in and buying or shorting off of that. So they have to kind of find an entry along this type of price action where it's this little violent range and you just have to find the entries. Up 178 on 5 eval so far. Very choppy. Agreed. Guy good 1-1. Just trying to hit 1-1, so don't get greedy. Love it. If that works for you, that's your strategy. Fucking ride with it. Bad day to be a range? It depends, Aldred. Because right now, we are range this session. We haven't moved. I think we're in a 5-point range on Asia at the moment. Then rode the longs for 250 points. Damn, Taylor. Damn. Longs are short. Jose, if this is what we've gotten so far this session, if you can give me what way we're going, I'm in, you know? If you got conviction off of this current price action right here, I'm in. But right now, it's not really there. Got a question about evals if we're open to ask? Mackenzie, always ask questions. Always. Also, is your name Mackenzie or Howard? Trying to figure it out if it's Mackenzie Howard or Howard Mackenzie. Or either or. Don't think I've ever seen MNQ move 1 point at a time. Perfect. So I'm right. Yeah, right? I'm scared. I haven't looked at the 2-minute yet, but I'm kind of scared. Yeah, this is... Until this stops happening on the 2-minute charts, we're going to be a little hands-off, right? We're going to be a little, I ain't touching shit. Once we start getting some decent volume to where we're not gapping every single candle, hopefully closer to Asia we start getting that, then I'll be a little more interested. I think there's definitely opportunity today. However, the opportunity for me lies above this or below this. Below 74.90 or above 7,500 gets me interested. Anything inside of that, not really. Played 3 minis here. Every 6 cents, I make $1,800. Carl, what minis are you in where 6 cents, 3 of them is making you $1,800? Because it's got to be like silver. So I would assume that's what you're referring to. Especially if you're talking cents. I got that Bart Simpson vibe leaning short. Looking for something like this. That's what you're looking for? It's hard for me to short the daily. I mean, I can see it working. Remember, we're just trading this session. We can easily get pullbacks. Higher time frames are decently strong, but I do have something to dive into on the daily charts in a second. China is really in a financial bind at the moment. Yep. Carl, are you talking about the indices on the 4 hour? I mean, if you zoom way out, we're not in any trend at the moment. Like if we're talking broader scale 4 hour aspect, we don't have a trend. This is just a violent ass range, if that's what you're referring to. If you're talking about if you zoom in more, we're actually trying to get out of a downtrend because we just closed above the prior 4 hour candle body high. Let's do it. ABA select start while holding LR. You got them GTA cheats loading. And just spawn in a free tank. For evals, do you have a month to just pass the eval or a month total of passing eval and funded stage? Mackenzie, you don't have to pass a funded stage, right? You just have to make a certain amount and then you can request a payout. The evals, some are a month, some are not. So check with the prop firms. Like Lucid's a one-time fee. I believe Tradeify is as well, where you pay whatever the amount is. And if it takes you 5 months to pass, you still pay that same amount. You don't pay any more. But I believe Apex, if that's the company you're trading with, they give you 30 days. If you don't pass, you lose the account. Appreciate you, Liz. No, Mackenzie, when you pass, you go back to 0 on it. So you'll go back to a flat 50K. It'll be the exact same as when you start an eval. It's possible to short. It's possible to do anything right now. It is like we are the price action that I expected Thursday of this week. ES is in a 7-point range. NQ from lows to highs is in a 64-point range, 65-point range. When's the last time you saw that on NQ? Especially if we get into the recent price action. NQ is currently in a 21-point range. You're lucky if you're on the 15-second chart and you see a candle that small. Yeah, Dev, I figured you had a typo in there. Appreciate you, Mackenzie. Yeah, if you have any questions, chat, you always know, throw them in chat. Especially if the market looks like this, we're going to need some questions. So we're probably going to go on a few rants. But if we are able to get above 500s, I'm interested in continuation. Anything below 90s, more so possible downside. I'm going to go into the higher time frames here to really talk about why I feel like that. What up, MostFab? Some key aspects here. And obviously, we're giving away, y'all should know, 2 accounts today, 2 giveaways. Deb, I don't know. They removed the monthly fee, but now you only get 30 days to pass it. So Apex, from what I understand, if you don't pass in 30 days, you just lose the eval. Devin, I'm waiting for some type of price action outside of the consolidation for the moment. How do you know Miss K? Vish, I know Miss K from YouTube chat. That's it. All I know is it's Miss K. The daily charts here. What I'm paying attention to is, yes, very strong daily closes across the board. Even if we go to the broader indices, all 4 of them, decently strong daily closes. The thing that I'm paying attention to is where are we at? And if you look at it, we're sitting right here on ES. We're sitting right here on NQ. So we are at a very large daily support. If we're looking at this general area as more so a range, because obviously we are violently ranging. So let's say you take this, draw that as the range. You have the high, the low, and we are smack dab at the mid. That's why I'm kind of like, I can see it going either way. The lower time frames, most time frames to me look bullish. I lean more to the upside than downside. But it also wouldn't shock me if we put up a little bit of a fight here, which we're currently doing, right? You go to the hourly chart, we've been sitting here since 2 p.m. and we're just kind of stagnant. We're trying to see, is this 90 area going to be our support on ES? If it is the support, we can look for continuation. Any acceptance over 505, we can easily look for more upside, easily. At that point, I'd be looking like 525 to 535-ish, somewhere in that general ballpark. Above there, you're looking towards last week's highs. I think if we get momentum, it might be a little bit of a slow grind, but I definitely lean more upside than downside. This chart's a little harder for me to short because we finally got over that like 488 area, which has been a really big pivot, especially that we're above that 450s that we had been rejecting since Thursday. So we're in more so an uptrend on most time frames. It's just, can we break this daily consolidation mid area? And if we do, we can look for a little 4th of July continuation week. It wouldn't shock me if we saw buying pressure throughout a decent part of this week. Wholeheartedly wouldn't, based off the current structure. How do you know Emily? Same way. I mean, same thing. Yeah, Dev. Lucid and Tradeify are the top two for me. Fish. If it was for Mitch, then don't believe it, unless it's about gamma or any type of liquidity. Nice trade last night. Appreciate you, Victoria. I'm going to guess, were you on Alan's stream then? Because chat, Vish did call it yesterday. There's a chance that I hit a trade after stream. I even mentioned it, you know, and it happened. Post stream, we talked about if we end up getting decently shitty price action throughout the Asia session, it's going to set up a really nice opportunity for London for that potential break over that 74.55 on ES or over 29.620s on NQ. The crazy part is I jumped on Alan's stream after I got trims off on this around like 600. And Alan took the exact same trade within, I think, 1 point of me without us even knowing. He got in at like 3 points of me. He got in at like 15. I got in at 19. But he took the exact same trade as me. I ended up holding runners up into the like 665 area and I got out there. So really nice trade last night, which kept me green. Saw your IG post? Oh, makes sense. Forgot I posted that. Just request a payout, waiting for the work market to be linked with Lucid. Hell yeah, most fab. Once you get it linked up with Lucid, Lucid payouts are insanely fast. Yeah, Miguel, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a strong July. I mean, if we look, let's say we get a rally tomorrow. If we start going to the monthly charts, if this is a 5-minute, people wouldn't be opposed to longing this chart if it's a 1-bar pullback. Now, mind you, I'm also not opposed to getting multiple months of consolidation overall, but this isn't like a more bearish chart. I would need to be able to be interested in really shorting aggressively tomorrow to sell us off all the way back down 200 more points on ES. If we get down all the way to 7,300 tomorrow before the monthly close, then yeah, I'd be more interested in shorts. But you still got to keep in mind what the broader market is doing. Yes, we have been volatile. Yes, a lot of opportunity has been there because of the volatility. But we're just ranging under all-time highs. Especially when you look at the overall market as a whole between all of the indices. I mean, oh, what did I just move? RTY is still trying to fight that all-time highs. Same with YM. YM closed a little bit stronger than RTY. RTY has a wick either way, but it's not a weak chart in the end. But we're still consolidating near all-time highs. These charts are still strong unless we lose the larger supports at like 73.50 on ES or 29.150s on NQ. So I would need 200-point sell-off on ES or 1,000-point sell-off on NQ to be like, holy crap, I want to sell this thing no matter what. What up, Omnam? How you doing? Target hit enough to make a qualifying day? Hell yeah. Love it. Summer long, fall dump. I'd like it. I mean, I still think there's an opportunity we spend a majority of this time in a range. I do. Go right now, second payout. I only need 5 more profitable days. Account balance. Most fab, is that the account balance? That's the account balance post payout, right? Because you were at like 5,300 or something, if I remember. It's a full moon today, which NQ's going in the moon. What up, Miss K? What makes you think we stay range bound? Well, because this is what the indices look like. For me, if this was a lower time frame chart and I was looking for a breakout, I would want maybe like a fail to go lower or something like that off this weekly. Now, mind you, this weekly can rocket up and break the highs. But if we close an inside bar, that just screams range. If I look at the monthly chart, we just saw a pretty strong rally followed by one consolidation candle. Can we continue? Easily. But my thesis is either going to be we continue consolidating or we get that break into new all-time highs. I'm not really looking for a move all the way down to 7,100 on ES at the moment. I would need structure to change a little drastically on the weekly chart. And remember, this is still a broader look. We have no problem shorting the lower time frames if the opportunity presents itself. But it's just letting the market cool off a little bit because we don't have conviction yet. I haven't seen anything that justifies we're going to break into all-time highs, right? We're going to see that stronger continuation higher. The dollar is still cracked out of its mind. Dollar's still up over 100 right now. It hit almost 102, which it is insanely strong. But if this thing starts pulling back, which so far is getting a slight rejection, still an inside bar from Friday, so it's not going to tell you a whole lot. But if we break this low around 101.05, I would start to anticipate the indices getting some decent buying pressure into the end of the week. I would. But if dollar strength shows up, then you'll probably get a little more bearish pressure, which will likely just lead us to more range. Because that's the thing, even though the market's been violently bearish at times, we haven't gone anywhere. So until they finally prove they can take us somewhere, I'm not going to have a lot of conviction that they're really going to. Made my qualifying day 2. One more day for another payout. Hell yeah, trade WAP. Love it. Yep, I knew you were up. From what you said in chat before, I believed you were up around like 5K. So hell yeah, most fab. That's on Lucid, right? No trade today. Only need 1K for this 50K growth count and then time to start my TPT. Hell yeah, bugs. Y'all are killing it lately. But yeah, chat, we need out of this range. Wholeheartedly. I don't mind getting long above the open, especially when there's lower volatility like this, because what you can do is, stop at the prior lows is not even 4 points on ES. Now, mind you, your target's probably not extreme. Talking yesterday's highs, 8 points. But we got to trade what the market provides. So if it provides a 2-to-1, we'll trade a 2-to-1. But if we're able to get a stop like that, then that means you can typically use a little more size if needed, just based off the risk tolerance. Yeah, Devin, it does. What's your thoughts on taking a payout and keeping a buffer? If it's one of your first payouts and you haven't got one yet, take the payout. Who gives a shit about the buffer? Wholeheartedly. Because what'll happen is if you focus more on the buffer and you haven't gotten a payout before, but you're eligible for one, what do you think will mentally tax you more? Getting a payout and maybe just having to trade a little smaller size till you grow the buffer, or trying to grow the buffer and blowing the account before you get a payout? To me, it's more so the second one would mess with me a little more mentally. I usually recommend just suggest take the payout when you can in the beginning. If you're at a point where you're consistent, you're trading multiple prop firms or multiple accounts, getting payouts, doing fine, and you just need to make like $1,000 more to get a max payout, do you, boo-boo, right? And that's just kind of how I live by. Mackenzie, this is how prop firms work. Because just from what you're asking, it sounds like you haven't really traded them much. When you get a funded account, most of the time you have the daily end of day drawdown. Once you make more than that amount, your drawdown goes to a static amount at $50,100. And at that point, you just can't lose more. You can't let your account get to that balance. So if you make $3,000 and withdraw $1,500, you now have $1,400 in drawdown, because 3,000 minus 1,500 is 1,500, and it's 1,400 till you hit that $100 mark. So usually $100 above your starting point once you're eligible for payouts is your buffer. Shane, my fund of futures is 50% off right now with code RAKE. Hell yeah. I didn't even know that. There's so many affiliate companies. That's why I just focus on like 3. Because there's way too many to keep track of the rules and the promotions. I don't know how Jake does it. By the way, chat, those of you just hopping on, I zoomed in a little bit, but 150 likes on the stream. And today on stream, we will be running 2 account giveaways for you guys. All right, chat, y'all got a poll on how you feel about the market. YM's a little weak. NQ's leading the strength. RTY's nowhere. ES is nowhere. It's crazy. This looks like NQ's making a move. It is 30 points above the open. I will say, though, if we spend this time, like this whole time slot doing this, London might get a little interesting. Either London or New York tomorrow gives it a lot of opportunity. What would really probably crush a lot of people and lead to a lot of people blowing up or taking losses is if we just put a little consolidation bar right here. Because we haven't had one, and I mean a little consolidation bar, since the end of April. So if we just put one right here, maybe throughout, let's say this range, 20 points on ES, it would make sense, 20, maybe 30, but a lot of people would probably tilt during that. I'd be willing to bet my account on it. Mackenzie, it's pretty easy once you understand it. It's just honestly you have to understand all the rules and everything. So make sure whatever prop firm you use, you just know the rules for the most part. And then if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Any one of us will be more than happy to answer. I'm going to short OG plan price to go down to 29,850, then make new highs. Overall bullish into 4th of July. What up, Pete? Yeah, I mean, if we get a move down in the next like 2 hours, I can see it. Because we definitely, I mean, the problem for me is ES has a huge support at 490. Like a massive support. NQ has a little more room, maybe down towards like 950 to like 850-ish. You have 2 areas there. But the ES 490s is the main reason I'm just not overly, because what am I going to do? Take something with like that? I really, like, I would love to be in something, but a 7.5 point trade just doesn't overly interest me. YM's definitely more bearish than anything. Bro, liquidity is just not present. Every single 2 minute has a gap so far. I'll be definitely more interested around Asia, most likely. Get us closer to the Asia Open, get a little more liquidity involved to where we actually have fluid candles and not gapping on the 5 minute, 2 candles in a row. And we might get something. Yeah. I mean, if you have a plan, run it. I'm open to going either way right now, just based off of how we're arranging. Every time I look back at my other window, we're at the same price. When the market's like this, your best bet is to get in a trade, set an OCO, maybe even like a trading view alert if you want a notification, and then just close your chart. Because then you don't have to stare at it, you don't have to look at it, you don't have to try to figure out what's going on. So far, out of 28 votes, we got 18% bearish, 53% bullish, and everyone else is don't know shit, which I'm in that category. I'm in the I don't know shit right now. Because it's hard to build a strong thesis over this. Which I'm going to be using the open, obviously. Above the open, I'm interested in longs, but I would need a little more momentum out the gate. Because I don't mind sitting in trades, but I really don't want to sit in a trade for 2 hours that moves 3 points. To me, I think I'd rather just sit here. Watching me right now with alerts, hell yeah. Take a look at gold. Gold looks just as shitty. Gold, I mean, you're getting multi-point gaps on gold on the 5 minute. That right there is enough for me to look at gold and be like, nah, it ain't it either. There ain't nothing that's overly interesting. Gold is definitely a weaker chart at the moment though, but it's been weaker. I mean, that's clear as day. Oil slow trending, gapping as well. What interests me is oil looks weak. The dollar is slightly weaker in this structure here. So I do lean higher on the indices. It's just, are we going to get a good entry, or are we just going to have to take something like this and just throw like a 6-point stop if it provides it? Bring out the chia seed charts. If I go to the 1 minute, you probably got them. Yep. Like that is what people are currently trying to trade. I'm good. If I do put any risk on though, it'll probably just be because of the risk to reward perspective and structurally where we are. Not really caring too much about the liquidity, but just looking for possibly a break of the highs into today's highs. And it would probably be a very smooth or slow mover. You want gold to sweep New York low for a long? Yeah, if we get down around 420, you could look for that long. I don't hate that. Especially if you end up seeing buying pressure off of that. I don't hate that thesis. The one thing that does interest me is the 4 hour, because we did spike the lows on ES and NQ. And if we get continuation, but we need a stronger hourly close, 30 minute kind of looks like shit. 15 kind of looks like shit. We would need a minute and a half of buying pressure. Ideally, a close up around like 98, which is crazy. Normally, it's not a lot to ask for in a minute and a half, but a point and a half right now might be too much to ask for in a minute. Chat, what are you guys looking for trades? What do you guys want to see? What names you watching? I feel like it's a lot of people that just aren't likely going to be interested today. What up, Rav? How you doing? Swinging by late today? Yeah, you're still early. We got time. You missed a lot, though. Like, you missed since stream started. Shit, you missed 2.25 points on ES. Should have swung Microsoft into close. Zay, did it rip after hours or something? Up 1%. Not crazy. TR's ripping a little. Are China names about to be back? Bro, China has been smoked today. Not today, just the last couple months. That's crazy. This is rough. Just placed a long. This is the problem, though. There could be a lot of boredom trading in this market, and I really don't hate the idea of longs. What up, brother? How you doing? What up, MD? Germany's out of the World Cup. Now the market can move. Is that what's been halting us? I mean, oil's weaker. The dollar's weak-ish. Agreed, Alan. Agreed. RSI is not something I pay attention to a lot, but let's look at gold. Because if I remember right, gold still has a lot of room lower. Yeah. I would love gold. Like if gold hits 3,700, I'm very interested in buying. Retest this prior all-time highs on gold. Give us that, and then we just look for the long grind back up towards the highs. That would be dream world for me here. I think we still have room lower on this chart easily. The problem is when you get into this whole area, anything above like a daily chart, there's not a lot of support. And that's 350 points that we can go straight down. So it's definitely something I've been watching a lot, taking a couple stabs in it to see if it is going to find like a broader support. But there's no confirmation there yet for me. But gold's definitely a chart that I've been watching for a while. But I dream world to be like 3,700. We don't have to get there though. Is market manipulation real? Devin, the greatest part about that question is every single aspect of the market is manipulated. It is. There's larger funds where they place one order and an individual stock or an individual name will rip or sell off. Right? But the thing that's not real is when people think the market's being manipulated to bet against them. Most of the people that can impact the market don't give a shit about what retail's doing, wholeheartedly. But no, market manipulation's there. I mean, it's across the board. When you have government employees buying into stocks and then passing laws on it, that's manipulation, right? When you have all the war aspects going on, but then you see how the oil market's being treated, that's manipulation. It's all across the entire market. It's just something that's in the market. You just have to accept it and then just look to be on the right side of it if you can. I usually just don't think too much about it. The market's going to trade how it's going to trade. What's the 15 doing? Stronger 15. Hourly could get a little stronger. NQ looks really good. The problem is, dude, you're looking for like 30-point targets on NQ or like 8-point targets on ES. You just have to really change your mindset and your perspective in the markets like this. GC still not my setup structure, but it's closing to it. Bullish if it plays for your setup. I hope you catch it, brother. I hope it sets up and I hope you catch it. What's your thoughts on today's New York session? We dump a little and then rip. Just want to hear your take on that kind of action. Ali, I'm sure there's like news that help fuel that action, but I know I've talked about it in the past few days. When we just zoom out, it's what we've been getting. We're in that, it's not as extreme, but we're in that 2022-ish era price action where there's bearish pressure, but the overall market's not in like an aggressive downtrend. So you're going to see sharp reversals to the downside and then sharp recoveries right back higher. And that it's just the market we're in. It's just how we have to trade it. And there's two ways to do it. You either find supports that you're interested in buying off of, which if you look, where did we test today? New York low. Our pivot that we were watching last night from this consolidation on Thursday. We came down, retested the overnight from Thursday into Friday, held that, and then ripped back higher. On NQ, the low, was it the low? There was a low somewhere on NQ that we hit. Let's see, was it the prior day's lows? I think NQ came all the way down, hit, was it the overnight open, and then rallied back higher. Let me mark this real quick, just to be sure. Yeah, NQ sold off all the way New York, back down into Asia Open, wicked that by a few ticks, and then ripped back higher. So there's just little supports that you have to look to see if you're interested in really buying off of that. If you're not, either wait for structure to form on the way up or just sit cash. It's the easiest way to do it. You just have to be really patient in this market. You either have to be patient or slightly aggressive. And I don't think there's really that much of a middle ground between them. You want to really know a manipulated market? Trade silver and get crazy. Silver or oil? Yeah, Zay, I definitely lean to the upside, but it's if we can get over this 500 area on ES and like maintain above this 30,000, 30,100 area on IQ. If we get above there, I'm definitely interested in continuation. Yeah, MD, I feel like oil is going to get its momentum eventually. It's just when. I mean, there's a chance they control it very well with overall supply, but at some point the demand's going to outgrow the supply just because of how much oil was dumped and how large of a deficit we were in for those few months. So I think eventually it'll catch back up a little bit. Don't know how aggressive it'll be, but I think the volatility will pick back up on it at some point. Unless they just execute it flawlessly with the supply and demand perspectives. Then we may just sit in more of a range like we did on oil before this whole thing even happened. Where oil based in this 3-year long range. And we may get some of that kind of shit. Yeah, Zay, that's because right now the small caps and industrials and like growth are kind of fueling the market. Most of the Mag 7 is still getting beaten to hell other than semiconductors. Like Microsoft is still down, what, 40, 50% from all-time highs? So you're still seeing a lot of names like this. If these pick up buying momentum and even try to make somewhat of a move back towards highs, you're going to see the market get its next leg. And I think that's when the market does get its next leg. When we start seeing the broader market get buying pressure again. Because we're still at a point where we're fueled off the semiconductors. right? Early in the morning, we got an aggressive sell-off across the semiconductors. MU got absolutely smoked, but then we started to recover, which led to the indices recovering. Someone also said a question earlier. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember who said it. I have a big issue at being impatient, bro. How do I fix this? ZXQ, the number one thing is going to be confidence within your overall setup and execution. Without that, you're going to struggle to be impatient because you're going to be fearful you miss the move. Let's say ES just face rips, right? And by face rip, I mean compared to what it's currently doing. Let's say we hold the open and we get up to yesterday's highs and I'm not in it. I really don't care that much if it does that because there's a chance we catch a pullback to this area or something and then catch the next leg, right? The confidence comes from knowing that you can execute upon trades in your strategy and knowing that there's going to be more moves in the market. Like today, let's say you missed the initial rally. Well, you could have caught an easy, I wouldn't say, I mean, yeah, it was, if you were paying attention to the resistance, pretty easy support. But you catch this, resistance rejection all the way back lower. If you miss that, all right, well, you just sit there, wait for structure to build again. And there's multiple long opportunities along this path. There's hundreds of trades between all the assets that you can trade on futures, hundreds of trades every single day that you can catch. It's just about finding one that fits your high quality setup perspective, right? And I mean, high quality, it doesn't have to be A+. It can be B+, B, whatever you want it to be, right? As long as the risk reward's worth it and the overall setup is worth the risk, then you just kind of have to look for those trades. Like for me right now, this market tells me I need to be patient. Why? Because if not, there's a chance we sit in this for a while. Would I have a problem if I got long right here with a stop down here at 94, 93? No, because that's a 3 or 4 point risk. That won't crush me at all, and I'll size properly for it. And I'd just be looking for 8 points to the upside. So it wouldn't be anything crazy in general. But also at the same time, if I just sit here and watch this, I'm fine not trading it because that move isn't like it's going to make or break an account unless you size aggressively. Last 4-week candles look the same. Yep. I got trapped because TP too high and now it's turning back down. Got greedy on gold. Yeah. Yep. I see that. One thing to note too is, and this isn't towards you, it's just something that hit my mind. You just have to realize the market you're in. People are going to be going from trading NQ in a market like this, where you see 600 point sell-off, followed by an 800 point rally. Well, now in the extremes, we're in an 82 point range consolidation. There's going to be a lot of people trying to trade NQ looking for like this plus. You have to realize what the current session, the current market is doing. Right now, is there opportunity? Yeah, I'm sure there is. Is it going to be a 400 or 500 point NQ move or even maybe a 200 point NQ move? At the moment, maybe not. Can we slowly get there? Yeah. But it's just how like what's your expectation of the trade? It's just something a lot of people need to manage, or at least learn to manage. $22 minutes for Tokyo. Do it, yeah. I'm waiting on Asia session to see if it opens. Zay, semiconductors are just an absolutely extraordinary amount of the market. I mean, the entire rally was mainly fueled off of semiconductors and AI. So that tells you how big of an impact they have now with our growth. MU is so fun to play. I haven't played it in forever. Last time I traded it, you can see my levels. It was around 250 the last time I charted MU. But no, semiconductors are a lot of fun to trade. You see better RTY for your setup? I don't hate RTYYM on the broader scale because they're closer towards all-time highs. It's just, if the market's this slow, the last name I probably want to trade is going to be the RTY. And yes, it can still make moves, but this thing is in a sub 2-point range. If ES in a 5-point range doesn't interest me, I shouldn't even be thinking about RTY with the way I trade. Mastermind will help you clear picture of a setup and understanding FOMO always happens. The market will always give you an opportunities. Agreed, Miguel. Agreed. And it's not even just Mastermind, right? There's people in here that trade ICT and they have confidence in their system. It's just understanding what you look for in a trade. At any point in time, someone should be able to ask you what exactly you look for in a setup, and you should be able to answer it. And I feel like a large majority of people can't answer it with enough detail as they should be able to. Isn't there data tomorrow? Might not move all night. If so, I don't think there's heavy data tomorrow. I think there's more heavy data Wednesday. Let me look. Data tomorrow, S&P Global Services PMI, but that's after market open at 9:45. It's red folder, but it's not going to be crazy impactful most likely, unless the numbers are just blown out of proportion. Yeah, we don't really have anything till Thursday. We have GDP Thursday and core PCE. So not a whole lot. Do something about this action, Guile. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. What I'm going to do for this action is wait 14 minutes and see if it figures its shit out. Most fat, head out, brother. I would not be shocked if some people headed out tonight based off of this price action, right? I'm going to be here for 2 hours no matter what. But I guarantee you, if the market's like this, we ain't running a 4-hour stream. I'll lose my goddamn mind. But no, brother, if you head out, have a good night. We need to sweep some higher time frame key level before I can take my IFVG. Appreciate you, Thomas. That means more than you know, brother. That means more than you know. Yeah, that's the thing. Even when the market's slow, we'll find stuff to talk about. And these streams are going to be as boring as chat wants it to be, right? The more questions you guys ask, the more detailed aspects you ask, when the market's like this, the more entertaining streams will be. And it doesn't have to be just charting related questions. You can ask whatever the hell you want. You're right. Stream up until it's Alan's turn. Dude, imagine I just decide, you know what, chat? We're running a 6-hour stream today. And it's just 10-point range for 6 hours straight. I think I would need to be checked into a psych ward after that. Zay, I'm getting a cut tomorrow. It's getting too curly. Made 3.5K on day one of Lucid Flex. Should I scale super low with 1 micro or just go for $150 and just go for it? Eluse, I'm just going to call you Eluse. Sounds right. If you're just looking for the payout, yeah, wholeheartedly. Because you're at 3.5K day one. You still need 4 trading days. If you log $450 days, that puts you at 4.1K. That qualifies you for the max payout. So that's exactly what I would do. Just look to slowly build it up to that max payout aspect. Like when I get these Tradeify selects that I have up towards that dollar amount, you guys will see me just log days. Right now, this one's at like 1.5K. So I still have some growing to do on it before I do that. I'm looking for short NQ. ES below the open. We have ES, RTY, YM below the open. If we end up getting some selling pressure, we could. 15-minute, pretty decent rejection. Hourly failure to go higher. 4 hour could pull back, let's say maybe even to like 80. I'm not opposed to shorts, especially because what'll shorts do? Shorts will bring in some volatility. If we get volatility, I'm in. I'm interested. RIP my NQ longs. Well, Gael, it happens. Devin, I'd probably wait for a retest because we have yesterday's high right here. Like, let's say we break 500. I would love maybe some type of retest or just some more conviction rather than just us going higher, because it could just change the range. We could go from doing this to retesting here to going here and then right back here, right? So I would need, as long as the hourly 15-minute and obviously the 4 hours are a little stronger. So if those timeframes kind of agree, then I'd be like, yeah, let's take a stab. But anything today will likely just be, I mean, I won't say lower size. I would say just risk adverse, I guess. Do all prop firms let you trade all hours? They should. If they don't, they would probably go out of business. So yeah, you should be able to trade 22 hours a day at least on prop firms. Normally it's 6 p.m. open till about 4 p.m. Some go 4:15, some go 4:45, some go 5. So it really depends on the firm. That last hour is just the flexible aspect, which, to be fair, most people aren't trading that anyway unless we're in earnings season. Nah, full port is not moving enough to liquidate you anyway. 1 HP, here's exactly what would happen. I would full port, and then all of a sudden, we would get one 10-point candle, full liquidation, and then we'd go back to ranging. That is exactly what would happen if I full ported. Yeah, Guile, I'm doing perfectly fine in this range. I mean, you guys have seen it on stream. Have I been at a point where I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to retire off this? No, but I'm green. I haven't had like a big problem with trading at all. I'm decently green in June. And obviously we haven't started July yet, but like today I took smaller options trade, which is crazy, dude. I swear in the Discord, when I post an options trade, it is going to lose. No matter what setup I take, no matter what trade I post, it goes in drawdown immediately. I take one more trade that day, not post it, 300% within an hour. And I'm like, what the hell? And it's every single time, at least for the last couple of weeks. But it's probably also because I'm not trading options as much. It's worth it for a 10-point candle right now, 1 HP. Someone could take that sacrifice, and it's not going to be me. I love you, chat. I'm not going to take the liquidation in this market for a 10-point candle. The risk to reward just ain't worth it there. Some people are fading. Hitch, cool. If someone said lately they're just going to fade that, do you, brother. Absolutely do you. I hope it works if I get stopped. How many people blew their accounts in this range, you think? Well, ZXQ. I'll put it this way. And this is a pretty good example of how many people blow up. Prop firms are paying out 9 figures, some 8 figures per month, and they're still thriving. So that means they have more than that amount coming in, likely on sales. So that should kind of tell you how many people are blowing up. Obviously, people are still thriving though, because those payouts. But there's gonna be a lot of people that blow up, and a lot of it's just greed. Most are even cutting prices, yeah. And they're cutting prices just to be competitive, right? Capture market share. What up, Seven? How you doing? But no, I would expect so far in just this range alone, a lot of people have been struggling. I'm not saying trading's been the easiest thing in the world. I feel like if you have patience though, it's been pretty straightforward a lot of times. Have I taken losing trades? Of course. I take losing trades all the time. I'm not worried about it. But When you go from a market that's just rallying every other day, and all you have to do is find a higher low and buy, and then now you're getting into this, where intraday on NQ, you're getting 500-point sell-offs and 800-point reversals. People are gonna blow up a lot. And I know that because I used to blow up in that a lot. We shorten. I'm not opposed to it. I would just like us out of these two highlighted areas. At this point, though, I'm waiting for Asia. Give me 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes, whatever it is. And then we'll see if we get a little bit more volume in. ES looking juicy. The daily resistance is a big reason why I'd be open to shorting, right? Beautiful, long, very strong candle here. Reject right off this daily pivot, slam back lower. You know how many people probably swung long overnight? Sticking to my guns, no prop firms. Dude, brother, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. And that's the thing, most people too trade prop firms to get to the perspective of being able to fund a live account. But also, it depends how you're looking at it. If you trade it like an actual account, which I do, but I also still play the prop firm game at times, where I'm just playing the risk to reward perspective. I'll be aggressive on accounts. I have no problem with it. But it just depends on what you're kind of looking for. For me, I'd trade it for the overall game, but I also treat it like a normal account. So I replied to Mr. Stretch. Oh, there's. You're down to your last $3 on drawdown. You need a miracle. Brother, if you recover, and I mean this from the heart, if you recover that account, that is probably going to be one of the greatest account recoveries I've ever seen. Ever. And probably will ever see. And that's impressive. I mean, I've taken like small size future accounts or small size options accounts to decent numbers, but $3, you're talking one M2K micro, and good luck. I mean, slippage, especially in this market right now, slippage will fill you out of that. Especially because 75 cents of that's going right towards contract fee. Like the last two chips in poker going on. You have to, how do you not go all in with $3? What are you going to do? A one tick stop on RTY micro? A chip and a chance. Hey, you ain't down if you still got capital. How you doing, guys? I completed my 5th day alpha futures yesterday. Dashboard still stuck at 1 trading day remaining. Do you guys have an idea? Shrey, give it a few hours, see if it updates. If it doesn't, just DM their support. They should fix it for you. How long have you been trading? Since January 30th, 2021. Almost made it to 50K, but had $1 left at the end. Blew it, just tilted. 50K, 53K, you mean? UG, I truly hope you did not. I really hope you didn't get it $1 away from passing or getting a payout and then blew it. Because if so, that might go from the best recovery story I've heard to like the most horrific tilt story on a prop firm I've heard. How long did it take you to become profitable? A little over 2 years. Enough to the point, and it's not profitability of like, oh my God, I'm making $20,000 a month. That was enough to pay my bills. What up, Kyle? How you doing, brother? So now we're holding, retesting the open. Yeah, Chad, we got 2 minutes going into Asia. Craziest part is we're still kicking a decent amount of viewers on the slow session. So I appreciate y'all being here. If you're new here or if you're just here in general, like the stream, 183 of you guys in here. If half of you that haven't liked the stream already do it, we'll run a giveaway. It's up to you guys. whenever you want to. Sorry for my English. I'm Russian. Never apologize, brother. Never apologize. If I don't understand like a comment you say, I'll just ask questions about it. There's a lot of people in here where English isn't their first language. I don't judge that. That's like if I tried to speak Russian, you wouldn't know what the heck I'm saying, right? You're doing a lot better than I would. I failed many evals trying to chase tiny amount to my max consistency. Never again. No, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Always here for me. Appreciate you, Todd. Yeah, but Lisa on that yacht of yours ain't cheap. 1 HP, the craziest thing, dude. I want a boat so bad. Sorry for my English. I'm English. Ollie, me and you both. Me and you both. Chat, couple seconds until Asia Open. Let's see what we get. You can ask me anytime. Appreciate you, Miss K. Doing good. Came back from the beach, spending some time with the kids and wifey. Love it, brother. What's your top 5 advice to someone going full time? Top 5 is a little crazy because that would assume that I have 45 pieces of advice to give to someone going full time. The number one thing of advice I can say is try to have some type of supplemental income that can at least cover all or a majority of your cost of living. The last thing you want to do is go full-time trading. And here's what a lot of people don't think about. Because if you go full-time trading, let's just say you're making $5K a month, right? Which can pay a lot of people's bills. Solid amount, right? It's not bad. But if you're averaging $5K a month and then you lose $3K in 1 month, not only are you not making $5K, you also lost $3. So technically you're down $8. And now that's a huge hit and you might be pinching a little bit to try to figure out how you're going to pay your bills. And that's something I really never want to have to worry about. Is, am I going to be able to get enough this week to be able to pay bills, to be able to live, you know? But just taking that weight off your shoulders. And I heard it was an interview. I don't remember his name, but the Asia Session guy from Tradeify. I saw a little clip on Instagram and it was good context. It's like, if you're a profitable trader, why do people sell courses? And his take on it was they sell courses for a supplemental income to the point where they're not desperately relying on their trading to live. Like, let's say with Jake, if he desperately relied on his trading to live while also streaming, you're talking he has to make X amount of money. So if he loses 10K in a day, that's going to hurt a shitload, you know? 20K a month is pretty unrealistic. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people just overanalyze the stuff on social media because it's what sells, right? It's social media. Social media, you're seeing the highlights from everybody's life. You don't usually see people post $100 or $200 profit days. You see people post 5K, 20K profit days. A Zhang is the Asia guy now. How dare you? Fucking excuse you, Vish? Excuse you? But no, you just got to realize what's reality and what's just the hype up on social media. The Ohio State, OH. How realistic is it to make 20K a month? It's only a matter of getting things down to scaling size from there. Christian, that's a very relative question. Don't worry, Chad. I'm still watching the market. It's a very relative question. I mean, it's like case by case. For me, if all of a sudden to be making 20K a month, there's roughly 20 trading days in a month. So I have to be averaging $1,000 a day. If I'm averaging $1,000 a day, that would mean my average, I either have a very phenomenal win rate on the daily perspective, or my average winning day is somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 because you have to account for losing days. For me to make $2,000 a day on average, I would have to be risking minimum $500 to $700 and just making the most astronomical trades out there. And it's unrealistic for me. I'm not willing to risk $700 to $1,000. And it's all just what you're willing to risk. But at the same time, if you can make $300 in a day, you can make $1,000 in a day. You can make $5,000 in a day. It all comes down to sizing and what you're willing to tolerate, you know? Because the only difference between the way Jake makes money and let's say I make money in the market is our risk tolerance. I couldn't stomach a $5,000 loss. Jake can wipe that off and go lay by his pool, sipping a Guinness, smoking a joint, and getting a tan. I'd be crying in the shower, wondering what the hell I just did. You know, it's just the risk tolerance perspective financially. Consistency is the question. How long did it take? MD, are you asking me that to like consistency to when I was able to go full time? Because I went full time before I was consistent enough to go full time. It was just based off of life decisions and life perspectives. I was at a job where I worked. I mean, I didn't love what I did, but it paid me decent money, and I was commission-based sales right before I got into trading. And I was in a company that my mom was part of. She got out of the company, and then they just re-upped into a new year. Basically doubled my workload, tried to make me commute 3 hours a day for an online job that I did from home for 2 years. And at that point, it was just, they tried to squeeze me out of it. So I was like, yeah, no, fuck it, I'm going to try it. I knew I had 3 months back commission because they hadn't paid me it coming that I could just live off of for a little bit. So I just took the risk, took the leap. But no, the consistency to be able to go full time and have the confidence for it came after I went full time. Gold looks terrible for whoever just asked. To be consistent enough to pay my bills was a little over 2 years. So I think it was like 3 months after I went full time. Getting some Asia session volatility here. NQ just ripped new highs. ES is likely going to go up towards today's highs. If we get above that, we may be able to see some continuation, but we need over 500. Okay, we'll take you around 10 years then. How long have you been trading? Alan is cool, but Ron is this guy. All right. What up, Samir? How you doing? Seriously, about 18 months by now? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And it takes everyone different timing to be consistent, right? Alan said he was consistent, technically consistent and profitable. Well, he wasn't consistent, but he was profitable within year one. It takes some people 5 years, 10 years. It really depends. It all just depends on the work you're willing to put in towards yourself for the most part, right? And just overall correcting the shit that you need to work on. I mean, the market is doing, I already read that. Scale into trades, I found it better to use points instead of USD on my chart. Yeah, 1HP, I like it a lot. Like I said, I usually don't pay attention to P&L. I just trade off of points. I make sure my risk is correct. But the P&L, when I get in a trade, is just on screen so you guys can see it, that I'm actually in a trade and not just saying I am. And you can see how much I trim perspective-wise. Vish, I'm looking forward to that day, brother. What if you sync 10 prop accounts like people do? You just have to be able to take the risk. I mean, there's nothing wrong with syncing 10 prop accounts, but you need the capital to be able to, well, you need the proven record of consistency to be able to get payouts on that, to be able to fund 10 prop accounts, right? Most people aren't willing to risk $1,000 across 10 prop accounts, and that's on the low end, right? And it's just that. Plus, you have to be able to stomach the losses. Too many people look at, when they copy trade, they look at it as a whole number. Like you see people all over social media. I made $10,000 today, but it's across 10 accounts. You may have made $10,000, but it was a $1,000 winning trade that you risked, let's say 500 on. Let's just say it's a 2-to-1. I'm just using numbers here. But a lot of people try to look at it as larger numbers. Well, if you look at the total profit as I made a $10,000 day, then if you took the loss, you're likely going to look at it as I just lost $5,000. And it's Are you willing to stomach that? If you can, trade 10 accounts. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I rotate. Sometimes I copy trade. Sometimes I just trade one account at a time. Also, the kind of education you get, too many funny out there. Agreed, Miguel. And I can tell you the first year of my trading, until I took a one-on-one with Jake, so probably the first 10 months of my trading, I didn't take seriously at all. I was in a Discord that I was just straight gambling for 10 months and losing a metric shitload of money. Based off a strategy that I had no clue about. To be honest, I don't know how much of a strategy was there in general, but, you know, we were trading. Where did you start off making per day? NT, my first 2 weeks of trading options, I made $2,000 or $1,000 a week. So about $200 a day. But also my bills total don't even equate to like $3,000 a month. So in theory, I could skate by trading, making a lot less than most people expect. Obviously, you have to equate for taxes and all that. But I could get away with making less and still being okay. I mean, it would suck making that much and just struggling to pay bills, but I'd be okay. What indicators are those? Do you not really use them? Thomas, I do not use them, so they're just EMAs. One of these days, I'll take them off my chart, but that day's not here yet. Well, chat, there's your 10-point candle you wanted. Actually, no, you only got 9.25. Sorry. We didn't even get 10 points out of that. Also, if I miss any questions, because I'm kind of reading through a little fast when I skim through it, if I miss any, just throw them back in chat. Yeah, MD, that's perfect. And that's what a lot of people do, right? And I'm just curious, MD, are you doctor? Or is that just part of the name you have? But no, I mean, most people use it as a hobby or a side job as they're trying to make it either, and it doesn't have to be someone's full-time job. I don't suggest everyone goes full-time trading. It's stressful as shit. I've had gray hairs for 3 years now. And it's just how it goes. Surgeon? Hell yeah, brother. You're in a line of work that I have way more respect for than anyone going full-time trading. Way more. I mean, the stress probably doesn't even get to you at all because I can only imagine what you've had to go through. But MD's never going full-time trading. I mean, it depends. I know doctors that have tried to go full-time. I know doctors that have gone full-time trading. Has it worked out for all of them? Maybe not, but yeah. I can only imagine, brother. I can only imagine. So that's the little bit of an advantage you have over a lot of people. Because also a lot of problems with trading with people is the most stress they have in a day is when they enter a trade. You need to be able to put stress on your body so your body can handle it. Go work out, do something that puts your body in some type of stress to where entering a trade isn't the biggest stress of your everyday. Yeah, PS. It's definitely realistic to make 20K in a month if you're syncing accounts. It's just, there's a very fine level of people who have the consistency to be able to do that every month. Because people blow up. It is what it is. Options are scary when you don't understand them. Samir agreed. Fully agreed. Because you don't realize you lose every single bit of your position. Especially if you're in 0 days. I mean, I've made horrible options trades. The most money I've lost is in options. I'll give you $1 for the indicator to sell to me. Deal, Vish. Deal. You give me the $1, I'll click on this indicators tab and show you the exact one I'm using on TradingView. MD, that's where you're going to struggle. And for me, that's where I struggled a lot in the beginning because I was a chemical pipe welder and also like a maintenance in that overall, like before I got into the sales, which I did for like a year, but I was a chemical pipe welder for a lot of years. All of my stuff was x-rayed, tested over and over and over again. And I couldn't be wrong, right? We're dealing with high pressure pipes. If one weld breaks, because most people don't know this. let's say I weld something in a plant and it's it's a dangerous gas or liquid that goes through it. If that weld, like if that whole contraption breaks and it's because of that weld, I'm in trouble, not the plant. You still trade options? Yeah, I do. What up, Manuel? If you trade the late hours and then trade New York in the morning, is that considered 2 trading days for an eval? No, Zvic. From market open, so 6 p.m. Eastern until 5 p.m. Eastern is 1 trading day. Are you taking a trade tonight? NT, if I see something I want to take, yeah. Trust me, chat. I want to trade. I do. But I need something that really gets my interest to put on risk. Because like here, the high of the range from the end of day. Yeah, you could take this, but I'm not, you guys know me, I'm not like a 1-to-1 R kind of trader. I don't love that. Will I take like 1.5s occasionally? Yeah, but it's very rare. I would rather be very patient and wait for a stronger potential setup and move than put on risk. And that's just how I trade. I used to move or eliminate stops till like 6 months ago. Hell of a change. Got bad habits with that. I feel like that's the hardest part too, is when you build bad habits in the beginning of trading and working towards fixing those. Because one, you're the only person holding yourself accountable and you have to be able to fix those on your own. Unless you have a mentor that you work with closely that actually monitors everything you do and calls you out on your shit, then you kind of have to solve those problems on your own and be able to call yourself out. I feel like that's where a lot of people struggle in the end. But it's also just because it's so easy to continue adding to a winner. It's so easy where, let's say I took that long and I put a stop here. Well, then we start trailing back towards the open. I just slide the stop to here. And then we trail back a little lower and I just slide the stop to here. And then I add into the position. I used to do that a lot. And it's very easy to do when you're just watching it yourself. Because in your mind, you're like, the risk could be worth it. And you're just painting a picture in your head that's not actually there. If MQ can break higher here, it looks really good in my opinion. I agree. I was 18K for 1 year on options and got it back second year on prop firm accounts. Hell yeah, Manuel. Love it. Yeah, MD, and it's definitely that you don't have to be right. The number one thing that just matters in trading is you have to be right about your risk. And I feel like if people change their perspective towards that versus being right on a trade or being right on your risk, then it can make it a little bit easier. Because wholeheartedly, if you look at the probabilities of trading, especially if you know like even a little bit about structure and risk to reward, if your risk is in check, it shouldn't be that hard to trade. Even if you have to throw wide stops and just do 2R trades, right? At that point, you need a very small win percentage to even be break even. What up, Acer? How you doing, brother? Chat, we are at 127 likes. We get 23 more and I will run a giveaway. And then we'll see when we're going to do the second one, just because depending on what market does. What are all the indices doing? So ES and Q are trying to break a little higher here. I mean, we have a tiny bit of volume, but not, or at least liquidity and movement, but not a crazy amount. RTY and YM still aren't moving. We have a nice hourly close, but that has 42 minutes to close. Gold weaker. Oil stagnant. The dollar strong. The hell? I don't know. I feel like this is very easy to long. I'm just not convinced. And that's that gut feeling I always talk about. I'm just not convinced in this at the moment to where like it's worth it for me to jump in. In worst case, I end up not trading today. Greatest part, I didn't lose money. And that's kind of what matters. After telling him to watch your stream, hell yeah, Lindsay. Absolutely love to see it. I longed twice. Did it work? Main reason I'm asking that is because it depends on your trading style. If you're a scalper, you can do well in this market. It's right there, but nah, may lock out. If you feel very stabby in market conditions like this, the best thing you can do is go up to the top of your chart. Oh, you guys can't see it because I cropped it. Go up to the top of your chart, hit the little exit button, maybe even turn off your computer and go do something. Anything. If your heart's, I will say, all right, if you're stressed out in a trade in this market, just realize, is that worth it? And this is to the whole chat. We are in a 10-point range on ES. Is that really worth getting stressed over? And that's just something you have to think about. Pat grass. I don't know if anyone, like who here's in the Discord and how long you've been in there, but we have a member whose name is Trent. And he would always trade the Asia Opens, and he would full port like 5 to 10 NQ contracts, like minis for scalps all the time. And there was one day he's like, if this hits, I'm closing, I'm going outside and I'm mopping my grass. It hit, and he quite literally closed everything, went outside and sent a picture of him mopping his yard. And it was one of the greatest things in the world. Yep, MD, agreed. And I think a lot of people just don't know their statistics. Like, do I know my exact finite win rate at this very moment? No, because I don't track it as much as I probably should. But I know with my risk to reward, I'm doing perfectly fine, right? Because I usually don't lose 5 trades in a row. And occasionally, maybe once a week, we can catch that multiple like 6R type of trade to where it covers that whole loss streak if it happens. My rule is 7 to 9 p.m. EST, no smooth movement. I'm off for the night. Sin, the greatest part is that is my exact thesis because that's my trade time. If we don't get any decent structure outside of this, 9 p.m. comes, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Just because it's not worth it, right? And yes, we obviously be on here to show our trades, but we also show times when the market's just not worth the risk. We all do it. I'm a New York session trader. Not bad. I mean, it's hard going from New York to then going to this. I will say that. It takes getting used to. This is what the first hour usually looks like for the most part. Usually like 7 to 9, you get some type of movement. Maybe at 9 we will, who knows? But this looks like it's more so priming up for London, or at least between like 9 p.m. in London for a move. Not necessarily right now. But no, a lot of my trading is the night session. Like last night I was up till 3:45, somewhere around there. I wasn't trading the whole time because I got out of my trade at 2 in the morning when I took this trade, but I was still up for a little bit. Yeah, MD, I agree. Less focus on P&L, more focus on just your underlying risk on the asset, and then obviously the risk to reward. Yes, I couldn't agree more. When Asia session makes a move, and I mean, like you guys hear me talk about my trading window. I will trade from 7 p.m. till like 3 in the morning without any problems. Because I usually don't trade New York that often. I traded New York a little bit today, which just means I probably didn't sleep a whole lot. It is what it is. But that's my primary trading window. Obviously, if I get out of trades earlier, I don't stay up till 3. Well, sometimes I still do. It depends. That's my sleep schedule. But it's just when Asia moves, it moves very fluidly and very nice. But when it ranges, boy, does it fucking range. Volume adjustment is a good rule of thumb. You guys saw me do it in the beginning of the stream. Go to the 2-minute chart. See what it looks like. If you zoom out a little bit and it just blocks, you kind of have to weigh your thing. Is it really worth trading? You know, where if you go back to yesterday's session, it's still a little bit, but you don't really see as many gaps. And then you start seeing more fluidity throughout the entire market. Even in the early session, you don't really see like this doesn't look like this. And when you start seeing the main indices, ES and Q, look like this, that's when you know you're not seeing an extraordinary amount of liquidity. So to me, that just tells me to be a little more reserved. Yeah, MD, I mean, that makes sense. And I feel like this is a really good session for a lot of people who have 9 to 5s. And a lot of people sleep on it. Plus, a lot of people get into Asia session. They'll trade it when Asia session's hot because it does have phases. But you can still trade it when it goes like this. You just have to realize some days aren't going to be worth it, at least near the open. $29,927. 29, is that what you're looking for? 29,927. Down here. What up, Miller? How you doing? PS, just trial and error. And it's adapting to the session. There's nothing wrong with that. Some strategies may not work as well. And that's no matter what in the market, you have to adapt your strategy over time. One strategy isn't going to work for forever. You're going to have to make small tweaks here and there to adapt to market conditions. And that's just all you have to do. Like my strategy for this entire session is for what we've done so far, marked this 15-minute pivot, this 15-minute pivot while we're inside of it, not really that interested, you know? And it's that easy. Once we get outside of it, then you just look for that trend to wherever you're targeting. That's what I do when we're in more so of a range and seeing 5-minute gaps. But no, a lot of people are right, because they mentioned it earlier. A market like this doesn't take a lot to really start to move. We just need a few larger buyers or sellers to step in, and we'll break this range. It's just a matter of when are we going to break it. Worst weekday for me, Wednesdays. Interesting. Is that because of a life perspective? Like what you got going on? Or is it just for some reason Wednesdays are just your kryptonite? For me, worst day of the week, hands down, is Friday. Hands down. And what really, because dude, doing bad on Friday genuinely irritates me. Because when I make a mistake, I want to work on correcting it as soon as possible. And there's nothing worse than like just poor execution on a Friday. And you have to wait 48 hours to even be able to work on it because the market's closed. And I hate it so much. I would rather suck on Mondays. But Fridays for me, it's crazy because it used to just be because of 0 days. Now you can trade 0 days every single day of the week, depending on what you trade. But I can trade 0 days every other day. I trade on Fridays. I'm either making 500% or I'm losing the entire position. No in between. Do it 1 HP. I've done it before. I have no problem taking Friday. I took last Friday off. I'm usually tired as hell because I have to travel long distance after work, watch kids. Yep. So that's probably it. Yeah, it's likely not only because of that, but that's probably a leading factor. Like there's days I know if I sleep 3-4 hours, I'm not going to be overly interested in jumping into trades because I'm going to be exhausted. Marty trades. That is the best example of those two sessions. New York is great for momentum and volatility. Asia session can get momentum and volatility, but a lot of times it's that slow, methodical momentum, which is I love trading it. I do. Because in New York, like you're going to see these types of reversals. If this reversal happens in Asia, you're likely getting 30 minutes to an hour of consolidation down here, and then you start to see the break. So it gives you time to get in and actually assess the charts. Versus, am I going to buy here? Am I not going to buy here? And then NQ is up 150 points by the time you decide. I'm not opposed to shorts if we start breaking. I'm not opposed. If we get a brief consolidation down here, I'm not against it. And by brief, I mean, I can take a 5-minute candle at this point. Because what I would do is look at the structure of this. If I go, let's just draw a regular line, right? Draw this right here. We can agree, I feel like that's a decent little now resistance with where we are. So if we can get a little candle here, maybe a little retest in this area, and then look for a little break back lower for a continuation, could be worth a stab at it, just because your stop could be simply a little above this. And at that point, if you get in something like that, I hate these question marks that they added with a passion. But if you get in something like that, let's just say your entry's here. What, a 3-point stop? Worst case, you throw it up at the open for 5 points. I'll take a 5-point stop any day on ES. Don't just give me a 1-minute consolidation, please. Give me one candle. One candle, and I'm okay with it. But we might get momentum lower. I'm not opposed to anything as long as it can trend. Agreed. Short silver. No. No. I would rather sit here and I would rather watch RTY on the 1-minute chart. No, I'd rather watch RTY on the hourly chart in this price action before this move than trade silver. That sucks. Well, if you were more aggressive than I was, we came up, hit near it, made the move. Unfortunate. We'll see if something sets up. I wanted at least a little bit more there. Couldn't get it. I mean, I'm short silver. Ah, fair. I see. Wait, those big reversals and big moves in Asia usually cause catalyst. Late New York session during. Yeah. I made these money shorting NQ today, but for the most part, I see myself making better, accurate trades during Asia. That's how I trade. I feel like I'm way more accurate during the Asia session, but in New York, I see the potential in setups, which is why I'm okay taking them. Was a little late on NQ. Yeah, I saw it. I just wanted a little more. Probably hindsight looking at it, obviously now because it fucking moved. With that short thesis, with what the risk would have been, probably should have just thrown it on and worst case trailed the stop as it moved. But, you know, is what it is. I was interested in the short, just didn't get exactly what I wanted. I mean, I would have taken a 2-minute consolidation. Give me a 2-minute bar right there and I'd be interested. But hopefully some of you guys are short, which I know some of y'all are. Do prop firms have 4th of July offers? Not yet that I know of. I'm sure they will. I think we will make a V-shaped recovery here. I don't know, Sin. I don't know. Like, go hit, guys. Good job. All right, give me 1 second. I'll run it. I'm going to catch up on chat. You don't see that opportunity. Longhorn, what opportunity are you talking about? The opportunity of the short that we just talked about? I mean, yeah, if that's what you're referring to, I definitely saw the opportunity. In it, 74.96. What a short. Beautiful 7. All right, so with the V-shaped recovery, the thing for me is going to be, one, we're already starting to come into the, like halfway the hourly. This is a pretty aggressive move lower. We can find support, right? But if we find support, let's just say at this 83 to 80 area, and we get right back above 90, I immediately lose interest again. I would love to see us get continuation one way or the other. And then you look at the hourly. Big thing for me, this hourly spike higher. If this chart was getting overly aggressive with buying pressure, this had no reason to push back lower here, and it definitely had no reason to break this low. Now we're below it, so that's going to be the pivot. If we get back over like 90, 91s, we're in the range, and yeah, there's nothing to do. But if we end up continuously rejecting, I can see us trending back lower towards, let's say, 470s, 460s. That wouldn't be crazy. I don't hate the thesis if we're going to get continuation to follow that hourly chart, look for continuation, maybe like a couple 2-minute candles, maybe a 5-minute candle. I would need a little bit of structure here though, since we just sold off twice the distance of the total range on the session. You know what's crazy? Light goal hit and the viewers just shut up 15 people. People are already loading their bots in. I see you guys. Chat, I'm going to start the giveaway in a few seconds. So if you're on a TV or something like that, get to where you can type. We're going to do 4 minutes when I do it. Not yet. You guys will see it in chat, and I'll let you know. I'm catching up on chat. Roll the hype up January. A lot of TPs. Good stuff. Hell yeah. Additionally, did I miss the giveaway? Don't think so, Dev. Think you're right on time. Cap my profits so much. Or no, why are you capping your profits? Consistency rule? Or no, reply after the giveaway. Because chat's already going to start typing exclamation mark enter. So I'm going to start it. Or else they're going to get a little ornery, right? Their medulla oblongata's out of line. All right, chat. Giveaway's open. Exclamation mark enter. If you've won before, you still can't win, unfortunately. But if you haven't, enter the giveaway. There's going to be 2 giveaways today. Probably one in like 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to get 2 decently quick. Just not doing them in a row. With that, though, chat, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Y'all enjoy staring at the charts, listening to music, and entering the giveaway. Since the start of the giveaway, we've shot up 15 viewers. Hell yeah. If you haven't already, though, exclamation mark enter gets you entered to win a 25K Tradeify growth account. So currently, you guys are entering pretty quick. 118 of you guys in it. And there's a minute and 15 left. Caught shorts on gold. Daily's looking bad. Gold, dude, no matter what the market does, gold looks horrible. Absolutely horrible. Like, I've wanted to take a decent long position on gold. Dude, the more I look at it, the more I just want to wait till 3,700. But I will tell you, if we hit 3,700 on gold, I likely will take a position. I'm also waiting on a long on oil. Not on this session, just a broader perspective long. Hitch, never mind. I think Hitch is just spelling it wrong. I think Hitch is just doing it for the fun of it. Because I'm pretty sure Hitch has already won. Jet, you have 3. Oh, by the time you hear that with a 2-second delay, it's already over. All right, chat, giveaway is over. On my side, I'm waiting for the low of 29,655 to be taken. So as early traders will see as what? What do they see it as? And they will sell 29,730 and their stop loss will be on my side. I'm waiting for the low. So you're waiting for 650 to test here to be taken. So as early traders will see, don't know what that is, and they will sell 29,739. So you're going to sell there, and their stop is going to be here. But it's a pretty large stop, 70 points on NQ. But obviously you got a strategy, so let her rip. I won next. I don't think you did, Bish. The winner is Alphonse. I'm going to botch that last name, so I'm just going to say Alphonse. Have you won before? Pronounce that. No. No. Nope. Not even going to try. Henry the Historian. What a name. Henry, can you give us a good history fact? Something that we wouldn't know? What's the 15 look like? Let's see, what would that be? Could take something like, oh, don't want to lock that. Could take something like 5 points. Across the board looks weaker. Oil's still stagnant. Here, yes. Can you shoot me a DM on Instagram? The link is in the chat right now. Let me know when you send me a DM so that way I can get you the code. But also, have you won before? Big question. You haven't at least won on my stream, because I remember. MD, you can do that wholeheartedly. I have no problems with that. I have no problems with previous winners entering, winning, and then giving away. None at all. If people want to do that, cool. It works with me. Yeah, that might be the continuation we get. Drew it out. I just don't love the idea of getting in right now. Don't know why. Just hesitant. Probably because we did this. And I feel like bigger moves will happen in a few hours for the most part. So I'm kind of just waiting for that and saving my bullets in the chamber for that. I think that's what I'm really just doing at the moment. In 1806, the Holy Roman Empire collapsed under Francis II, became the German states were loyal to Napoleon. Fun history fact of the day. Appreciate you, Henry. If you got any more, feel free to just throw them in chat whenever you want. I'm here for it. Give us some volume, please. Can previous losers enter, or just losers in general? Losers can, just not you, Bish. Oh, he's still going. With those states, Napoleon, former the Confederation of the Rhine. Chat, he's still going. Let him cook. Let that man cook. Oh, formed. Let's see. Did Alphonse, let me know when you shoot me a DM so I can check. That NQ wasted no time. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing momentum. I think we can see continuation here. I should probably get rid of this so people quit entering. Giveaway's over, but we will run one more before stream ends. 350K alpha advanced passed. Hell yeah, PD. Love to see it. Of course, I missed another giveaway. Moke, there will be one more. Nah, Vish. If I get more than one giveaway, that person everyone has to DM me a picture of their Instagram, or not their Instagram, their YouTube. They keep tanking. I'm watching my little monitor to watch it go across the board. Oh, it is. Huh. SP500. You know what's crazy? That the ticker on the bottom of my screen is live data. It obviously doesn't update every second. It's like every 15 seconds or something, 15 or 20. But that is all live for the current market. If you're wondering where certain things are sitting. And if you guys want any additional things put on there, I could try. Before it even starts, we're not putting soybeans on. We're not putting lean cattle on. We're leaving it to the main assets. Because I know that's coming at some point. Yeah, Henry, I had the same comment to that as well. I wasn't going to say nothing, but I had the same comment the second I read that. I'm like, what? If we rally, I'm going to feel a lot better just sitting cash. You just pick someone. Jake said it's okay in the morning. No need for the raffle. Samir, I know. I know I'm allowed to do that. Yeah, this week, by the way, we do have permission to just pick. If we want to pick. I haven't done it yet. I'm still running raffles. He says, okay. I checked Henry's stats to see how long he's been in chat. I just see Lamelli. You aren't Mexicano, amigo. You're from Texas, buddy. Trying to get picked, took my shot. Samir, there's one stat Jake also says at the same time, though. When you ask, what happens? You know? Chris Porter below, agreed. Cattle, no. The chart is for shorting to me. Look nicer on it. It did. What do you mean you want to full port these 1 minute candles? The 1 minute candle, we're not getting as bad of gaps now. See what happens? We get a little bit of volatility, a little bit of momentum, and the gaps are kind of gone. So we're getting some fluidity here. So maybe some price action starts to look a little better. Maybe we get some trends. I just think there's going to be a larger move happening later on in the session, so I'm probably going to be waiting for that for the most part, just because I don't think my risk is worth it. A little late, Anthony. I'll sit this one out. No, brother, you enter all the ones you want to if you haven't won. Market is so boring that we got people teaching history. Market or Henry, who's putting us to sleep first? Vish, you're out of pocket because I could listen to history facts from Henry all day. I don't know about you guys, but I could listen to those history facts all day and not fall asleep. I love learning. What do you mean by gaps? Devin. So if you look at this price action, it looks a little more fluid overall versus if you go back here towards this. Right? This is when there's lower momentum, lower volatility overall in the market. And is a lot of uncertainty, especially during the beginning of Asia, where you get they're not, I wouldn't say these are like, I wouldn't say valid candles, but they're just not telling me anything, right? Doji, gap up, small candle, gap up, doji, gap up, doji, gap up. And that's just the entire pattern of it. So just looking on the lower time frames of what the candles are actually providing you, this is giving us actual data here. You can see clear as day candles. Yes, we are getting small, little, tiny gaps, but that's fine. But it's actually giving some structure for the most part. Like being a beach more, we know, Vish. Don't worry. Was there news or did the market finally wake up? Alan, I don't think if there was any news, it's going to only move the market 15 points. So I hope that wasn't a news candle, because if that's the max volatility we're getting, we are cooked tonight. And I won't trade the rest of the session if that was a news candle. Well, for fact, trading in general, I think it should be kind of boring if you do your job, set up entry. Yeah. MD, I mean, you see, obviously you're here often. You see how I trade every day. I'm never getting in a trade freaking out because of stop losses or take profits. Am I happy on like Thursday's trade where it just ripped 200 points and we caught a really nice trade? Yeah. But I'm not like, oh my God, this is the craziest trade in the world. It was nice, but it's not going to impact my psychology at all. 15 inside bar, 2-minute lower high. Is this worth a stab? Oil a little strong. Gold is getting smoked. If you're a gold trader, you're thriving right now. I'm trying to figure out if I even want to put risk on. I just don't think I'm willing to. At least at the moment. I just don't think it's there. Printing on gold right now? Hell yeah. Really balanced. Appreciate you, my man. I forgot that range we were in. That looked, yeah. Alan, that's the thing. It looked like, this looks like a crazy ass candle, right? At the, what was that? Oh, that was the end of day New York. Even with that though, end of day New York, crazy volatility. It's 13 points. That's larger than any single candle we've gotten this entire session. Now, NQ made a decent move. I'll give it that to the downside. 150 points. NQ's getting some volatility, which we usually expect. Trading isn't hard, Aqua. It's the psychological aspects that we bring into trading that makes it hard. Reading candles on a chart is one of the easiest things in the world once you understand what you're doing. I think technical analysis is quite literally one of the easiest jobs in the world. I'm used to trade with video of psychology in trading or podcast. Big Legends, now I combine it with your podcast. Appreciate it. That's how I found this one, Jake podcast. Hell yeah. Wait, Jake pod. Oh, I was gonna say Jake podcast with Jake. Who the hell did Jake have a podcast with Jake? Would have bottom wicked that low if were for that tip candle on SPY had a fib there. Down here, I mean, that's the thing in the market. You're going to see those entries that give you conviction, right? Like I even talked about a potential short here. But it's just, are you willing to put the risk on to take it? And that's just a question you have to ask yourself. In the moment, I've realized I'm not willing to put a risk on with this chart. Because now, after that massive, I mean, extraordinary 17-point move on ES, we're back in the range. Look at the daily SPY. 1 HP, I talked about it in the early session. It would not be surprising to me if we printed a small daily consolidation and just mentally destroyed everybody. Everybody. Because we haven't had a small consolidation candle since like here in the end of April. Every other candle has had decent upside wicks where we're talking 60, 70 points minimum. So we get one of those, a lot of people are going to probably tilt their ass off tomorrow. If we get that. NQ Chopin, why would anyone trade this? Well, it depends. If you're looking for shorter term trades, like Alan, for instance, I know Alan's probably taking some trades in this if he's near his computer, Because there's a lot of 1R to like 1.5R potential trades in this that you can take. Me, on the other hand, I don't love those. I don't mind taking like 1.5s. I don't take them often though. So I'm just going to sit on my hands. Because even if I was looking to short, I probably would have been looking past this. So I wouldn't have hit any type of target. USD JPY, huge candle up. Interesting. What are we thinking here? Absolutely nothing, Nick. Absolutely nothing. We broke out of the range and we got bought back up right into the range. Not a whole lot to do. Dollar's ripping. I looked at that a second ago. If the dollar is ripping. If the dollar rips, that's no bueno. Dollar rips, I look for a broader term short across the market at some point. Dollar is really ripping. Okay. Oil's basing down here. What did the daily look like on oil? Oh, that is the daily. 4 hour. Terrible for now. Indices, though. Could look to print a lower high off this little area we talked about, but I can't gain a whole lot of interest in it. I mean, I could see justification for something like this if you're trying to trade the short, you know? I don't hate the thought of that, but I also, at the same time, hate the thought of that. Do you get market structure shift to see reversals? Yeah. Just multi-time frame analysis for the most part. Gold will gap down. Gold's already getting smoked. So if this trend continues, gold will continue to get smoked. But gold's also been getting smoked for months on end. Yeah, MD, it'll be really interesting if the dollar keeps getting its trend. Because the craziest part is we saw oil getting a lot of momentum, which pushed the market lower. And obviously the market recovered and oil tanked. But now if we start seeing the dollar skyrocket, most people don't know the aspect that can lean. And I don't know enough about it to really dive too deep into it. But what that can do towards other currencies nationwide and how that can impact the global economy. And it's not great if the dollar keeps ripping. It's really not. But it's interesting if the indices try to push higher while the dollar's strong. That would be shocking to me. Now, if the dollar pushes all the way back towards those lows, then yeah, I'd anticipate the indices push a little higher. Well, there's that ridiculous wick on SPY daily from Friday that messed up my weekly lows. I chart ES fibs off SPY. That's fair. I usually, if I chart anything, it's on, like if I chart SPY at all, I chart it off ES on the extended hours. Up 20 points on gold now. Beautiful. But LeBron, after passing funded accounts, how soon do you usually request payouts via Tradeify? Stop loss Poppy. I've requested payouts in 5 days. I've requested payouts in 15 days. It all depends on how I'm trading and what the market's willing to give me. Like I have a Flex account right now. After yesterday, I'm up 1,500 on it. If I take a loss or two, I'll be down to like 1,000. And it just depends on how I trade at that point. Right? I don't pay attention to the time horizon that it takes me to get a payout. I just focus on getting the payout in the end. And that's kind of what matters to me more. Too many people focus on, because I can look at this account and I can be like, all right, max payouts, $3,000. I need to make 6K in 5 days to get the max payout as soon as humanly possible. If I focus on all of that, the chances of me blowing the account are going to grow drastically. So I don't care about that. I just care about trading. If I trade properly with proper executions and risk, my P&L will reflect that. Eventually, I'll hit the buffer to get a payout. And then I take the payout. How do we have so many people during such a shit market? Vish, you're asking me. I mean, I'm here for it. I love it. I love the support. I'm wondering if other streamers maybe hopped off. Usually around like that 8:30 time, though, we get a rise in viewers. I've noticed that. Can't take longs with a dollar ripping like this. Doesn't make sense to me. Alan, that's conviction, right? That's why we have our conviction that we look at. Obviously, right now, oil is not in that negative correlation aspect with the market like it was. So now you can look towards the dollar. You know the negative correlation there. If you don't love what both are doing, sit on your hands. It's like looking at all the indices. If we see, let's say ES and NQ ripping, but RTY and YM starting to sell off, if you trade the divergence between them, you may not have full convictions. You may just sit on your hands. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a time to not take a trade. MD, I would be very shocked if we do not see some type of rip on oil at some point. Like, I am just waiting for that time because I really want to trade oil a lot more, especially towards the upside, because I think there's going to be a lot of potential and a lot of volatility. It's just when. When is it going to start? No, if the dollar starts really ripping, we're going to be in some serious issues. There's going to be a lot of stuff they got to focus on, and it ain't looking good. Yeah, usually at some point for them to correct the dollar, we tank pretty aggressively. Chat, since it's 9 and we're getting towards the end of the stream time, at least for today, because we're not doing a whole lot on the charts, let's say we run the other giveaway. Also, did Alphonse, are you still here? Because I don't know if you DM me or not. Tennessee's dollar. All right, Chad, I'm going to take one entry on ES shorts. I mean, MES shorts. Let me throw this up so you can see it. So I took one entry. I'm going to throw a stop at 96. I'm probably still going to end stream and just leave the trade with a stop at 96. So I have 89.25. I threw a stop. They're willing to leave it there. In reality, where I would love, I mean, not even really there. I'd love to see that on a broader scale. Do we have to get down there? No, not at all. But my main thesis is if we start to break back below on this hourly, we truly have room down towards like this 70 to 65 area. If we get below that, I'd be looking towards like 53s. So this is probably the only risk I'm going to throw on at the moment. Leave this here for now. But I'm in that, likely going to leave it. I will still end stream after the giveaway. Just leave the trade on. Let me catch up on chat real quick before I run it. Let's go around. Any advice on trading with $1,000 Lucid Pro drawdown? I've been doing 3 micros. Marks, if it's working, run it. Nothing wrong with 3 micros. He dropped you, said he wouldn't use his full name. Well, if he doesn't reply, he doesn't get an account, you know? How much use you risking in dollars? With this trade, this risk would be 330 on 6 3/4 points. Am I allowed to enter if you haven't won? Yeah. Of course, Samir. Why is that doing that? Don't type it yet. Y'all will know. Let me correct this. Oh, I put a space there. Duh. The end of the giveaway, all you're going to do is type !, enter in the chat. Once the giveaway starts, we're going to run it for 3 minutes. We're going to take a time off. We're going to take 1 minute off of it. So y'all get 3 minutes to enter now. Now we're going to see if this trade works out. All right, giveaway's up. You got 3 minutes. ! Enter. What's the best way to reach me? DM on Discord and then DM on Instagram if not. I just have a 2-point stop, adjusted my fibs for ES SPY, but who knows? Actually, last week bottom. That's fair. I just think right now, dollar's very strong. Oil's trying to hold a little bit. Not doing much, but I'm not overly interested in paying attention to oil. Gold is straight dumping at the moment. All the indices back below the open. What are we doing? We're rejecting this area we talked about earlier. Took the entry. Wish I got it up here, but I wasn't really stalking it until I started to see this candle form. Now we're trying to ride it. But I like the charts. 15, we'd be looking at the first trend aspect we have here. If the 15 does close lower like this, 15-minute lower high, if we break back above, I get stopped out, is what it is. And then hourly kind of looks like shit, but we'll see. I'm going to raise this to 70. So my main target's going to be the 70 area. Dream World, 55 to 52 on continuation. So with this trade for me to 70, it would be 330 risk, 960 potential return. Damn, there's already 83 of you guys in the giveaway. Y'all are entering quick today. If you haven't entered already, exclamation mark enter. If you have won before on stream, unfortunately you cannot win again. So we'll have to re-roll it if you do until Jake says different. Yeah, exclamation mark enter. You have a minute left. After that, like the stream. Let's see if we can get to 200 real quick. Only 17 away. Damn, Ollie, I got to change that sub message tomorrow. That's unfortunate. They're saying nickel futures are down 3%. Good Lord. Getting smoked. Fruit. Yeah, we didn't reach it. We're like 10K away. I mean, to be fair, we've seen insane growth on the subs. Insane. All right, giveaway is done. The Home Depot houseplant. I feel like I would remember if you won on my stream. But if you won on anyone else's, crazy name. But have you won before? Congratulations, brother. I'm assuming that yes means you're happy, not that you've won. Obviously, after stream, I will check all giveaways. I haven't won before. Shoot me a DM on someone goes re-raffle. That's an ad. Technically, it could be an ad. I wish we were sponsored by Home Depot. DM me on Instagram. I'm going to be on stream till you say you DM'd me. First person, don't know if they did or not. We'll see. But let me know when you send me a DM real quick. That way I can confirm it's you. What up, Sir Brian? How you doing? By the way, chat, for those of you that don't know, we are running double giveaways all week. Every single session. 2 giveaways. Doesn't matter if it's Mitch's, Lamelli's, mine, or Allen's. First we get history, now we get Home Depot houseplants. Damn right. I'm up 60 points in gold shorts now. Gold's dumping that much. Holy shit. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Dollars hitting new highs. Gold is straight dumping. Do we just take this target and drop it down to 420, 415? Because, dear Lord, this mixed with this is not good. It's not going to be ideal for the overall market. Doesn't mean the indices have to flush. I hope they do. It doesn't mean they have to. Wake up tomorrow and close it. Ollie, those are my favorite trades. I don't know if he is going to give us it that easy. I feel like there's definitely a possibility we get that throughout the night session. It's just when, right? But Soon as Home Depot houseplant shoots me a message in chat, we'll go ahead and wrap her up. By the way, there are 183 people in here, and I appreciate all you guys. We were just around like 200 on the giveaway, which was awesome. But I appreciate you guys being here, right? Very, very slow market. Took an entry. We'll see if it gets continuation. It looks good for it, especially when you're looking at other assets on the market. Dollar ripping new highs is not ideal. If the dollar gets over 101.4s, I'm going to be, this is going to be an area where I may trim. I may just pay attention to what we're doing down around that area when we get there. I'm kind of interested in holding this. How do I sleep with an open position like a baby? I set an OCO order, so I have a stop loss. I either set an OCO order, so I have a stop loss and a take profit, or I just set a stop loss, wake up, see where the chart's at. One or the other. No matter what, I have a stop loss on. I'm not going to lie, I really hope your Instagram is the Home Depot houseplant. I truly hope it is. It's not. It's an actual name. But all right, brother. I got your DM. Bitch, did you DM me saying you're telling on me to chat because I took a trade after stream that I posted on my Instagram story? You snitch. Ollie, I was about to say, how did you know his name? And then I just saw he put his name. Damien, hold on. No, it's on my story. And Alan, see, I would feel bad. Alan took this exact same trade. Alan actually got a better entry than me. So if you were on his stream and you're a loyalist, you saw the trade. But yeah, no, this is the trade from last night. 146 points up top with a 31-point risk. Not too shabby. With that though, chat, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. ES. I plan on holding this, especially if we break 80s. It's like 80 to 82 area, which I believe is like a little bit of a 15-minute high. Yeah, around here-ish. If we break that, I'm interested towards 70s. If we break 70s, I want low 50s. Anywhere in low 50s is a pretty damn big support. And I'll do this because that's the area we've been trading the past few days, 50s. We have not been able to get over 52 to 55. We finally got over it. If we get back below that, runners are going to 420s. I'm going to hold those, see if I can, see if I have the cojones to do it overnight. We'll see how that works. But for now, as long as we end up breaking this session low, I would be shocked if this didn't test for the most part. And in all honesty, I started leaning towards 55 if we get that first trim filled, or that first trim area. But it's a big if we get down there. What up, Joe? Anyways, that's what I'm doing with this. I have an entry at 489.25, stop at 96, target around the 70 area. Y'all know I don't use like the exact area. I'll just trim around there if we get down there. I have no problems front running a little bit if needed. But obviously, if you're in a trade, just have a plan to follow. Especially because this can work out throughout the overnight, which I would love to see. Like I said, Dream World's going to be this. Hail Mary would be this. So Dream World is about 5R. Hail Mary would be 10 to 11. We'll see if we get there. But I like this a lot if we get continuation, especially with what the market's doing. Dollar is face ripping. Gold is just getting battered. And I think oil's going down a little bit as well. Yeah, oil's a little stagnant, but we'll see. If the dollar keeps getting stronger, I anticipate these to go lower. Do not use the 2-minute. Not on this session, Chris. It's not needed. I'll use it sometimes for quicker entries, like if I'm looking for like a 2-minute consolidation based off structure. But no, during Asia, the 2-minute's not needed. If you're using the 2-minute, you're like an aggressive scalper, what I would say. Which, nothing wrong with it. It's just not my style. Been short in gold, and my God, just nonstop bangers. Hell yeah, Joe. But with that, I'm going to head out. Y'all have a great rest of your night. We'll recap tomorrow, see if this works, see if it doesn't. For now, I leave it running. But y'all have a great rest of your night. Alan is on at 1 a.m. Eastern, and he's going to be running some giveaways. I know a lot of y'all will be there. But I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy, Bub. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. Bub. Have a good one.